Hello everyone, the FFX Riku again. I was heavily inspired by my Let's Play for Richter mode in Richter mode in Symphony of the Night, and I decided to start a Let's Play with one of my all-time favorite games. Unfortunately, this game has not aged well for me. The gameplay, at least. I still love the story. I love the cutscenes. I love the characters. I love the music. Love the visuals. All sorts of stuff. But the gameplay just did not evolve well for me. Just sort of turns into what it is. It's a ATB system with no active time, unfortunately. It's odd how this game has aged for me, because it's like for most of my life I hated 10-2 just because it's like, how dare they ruin this story and this world and they turned you into a porn star. What did they do that for? Why? And then as I got older I was like, well, you know, the gameplay at Final Fantasy 10-2 is actually pretty fucking solid. So I usually, like, every year that passes by, I start thinking about this game, and I'm like, you know what, I still kind of like it. I want to go back and just play it. I have this urge to just play it, like, every year or so, or else I feel incomplete as a person. I don't know what it is, and I try to keep it interesting. Just for myself, I impose like little small challenges onto myself, like, you know, just. But for this one specifically, you know, the one while I'm recording with commentary, I decided to go with no summons, obviously. Just summons kind of break certain boss fights. And I usually don't go with summons anyway, except for one particular fight, just to ensure I get an overkill, better AP, better item drops and whatnot. Otherwise, I'm going to also not escape from any battles. Any random battles I come into, I have to fight out. I can't run. So if I'm in the Calmlands and I just get Marlboro after Marlboro after Marlboro, I have to fight it. Got a bit of dialogue here.
Listen to my story. This may be our last chance.
I'm going to try to remain quiet during major cutscenes, you know, anything with music or, you know, really heavy dialogue, stuff that's important to the plot. Otherwise, I'm just going to be testing out my improv skills. I'm still, you know, just learning it on my own, try to provide commentary while I can. I'm also not going to be grinding. I have to go through, it's just like, aside from the battles that I have to fight out on the way in between point A and point B, I'm not going to be intentionally grinding. So I'll fight bosses with whatever stats I have at the time. I won't be doing any post-game for this run. It's just going to be playing through until I beat it, because the post-game is just 50 plus hours of grinding, farming, all sorts of boring, not interesting shit that I can't provide decent enough commentary for, and I don't even think I could keep myself interested for that. And I will not, ever in my life, be doing a no sphere grid run. Fuck that, because the entire playthrough, it turns into like an 800-hour file. It's not uncommon for it to take you weeks to do a no sphere grid run. I think it might be fun just for the bosses, if I had all the items I needed and just had to figure it out from there, but no, you have to farm all this shit. So I'm not going to be doing that. Aside from that, just my regular playthrough. I'm going to try to explain some decent mechanics as best I can. For instance, this one. Shit, I never decided on a name. Well, let's go with generic Genericus, biggest dickest, yeah. Just that guy. Gux, that Gux, yeah. For instance, this mechanic here, you actually don't have to talk to the kids. It's not required. You can go through the whole game, never having talked to these kids before. It's just sort of autopilot. Because I like the cutscenes and I like the voice acting, even though it's meme-worthy bad. But this is the only cutscene you have to... This becomes a plot point later on. This is the only one you actually have to go... actually have to activate before moving on. Because this...
What seat? He's blocking the front row. Fifth from the right. Got it.
That line of dialogue right there, East block in the front row, fifth from the right, becomes a plot point later on.
Well, gotta go. Cheer for me.
Nothing major, it just gets brought up again, so you can't move on without activating that small cutscene.
Hey, I got a game to play. Then teach us after.
So just to move on, you just talk to the girls, walk in between the crowd, and then the game moves on for you.
I mean, tomorrow.
But until you talk to the girls, you can actually run and talk to everybody else, and they say random shit. Such as, can't wait for your game, I want to see you play, stuff like that. And, foreshadowing! Foreshadowing! And then, yeah, I said I'd be quiet during the cutscenes, but I'm gonna try my best, because if I think of something to say, I'm gonna say it. That's just how I am. I just talk and don't think about what I'm gonna say until it's already been said, and I'm like, well, shit, that wasn't PC. Drop the N-word in the middle of a discussion. Great going, Riku. Well done. So, yeah, I apologize if I talk during cutscenes. I'm gonna unplug my mic during major ones. Like one coming up, which is obviously the best cutscene. Well, it's the best song in the game, by far. It's Jack's theme. It's just awesome. Ooh, fun fact here. Matt McKenzie is monologuing here. Matt McKenzie is the voice actor for Auron.
My dad must have been his biggest fan. I knew how sad he'd be. Heck, we all were that day.
Although it's not Auron. I'm not sure why they did that. Also, there's this dialogue, the monologue goes on for a while, so I'm just gonna move on. You can listen to the whole thing. It's pretty interesting. He's just talking. He's building up Tidus, basically, is all he's doing. This right here, you can't speed this up. You have to listen to all five lines.
Hey, let go of me.
And then we enter into, my opinion, best cutscene in the game. I'm just gonna let you guys enjoy this one. Gonna unplug my mic. I hope this song's not copyrighted. That would suck. But anyway, enjoy, guys. And we're back. I hope you enjoyed Otherworld by Nobuo Matsu. It might not have been Nobuo Matsu. It may have been Masumi. I think it was Masami Ueda. No, Masami Ueda. I think that's the Devil May Cry composer from the first game. It's Motomo Toriyama. No, it starts with an M. I know that much. Maybe it's Matt McKenzie. I don't know. Anyway. Great song, and it turns out it's actually foreshadowing the game if you look at the lyrics. Barely. Just, I don't know. You look at the lyrics, it's actually kind of interesting. You're like, wow, it was actually telling me about stuff that's going to happen later. A bit. No, that's the effect it had on me. But, my opinion, best theme in the game. The rest of this is confusing and not very well explained, in my opinion. For instance, why Tidus has a connection with Bahamut specifically. Spoiler! That's the child here.
Don't cry.
Yeah, there's a big story thing. It's like, it doesn't explain why specifically this kid is related to Tidus. But, also I pronounce it Tidus. If you pronounce it Titus, I am sorry. Not that I pronounce it Tidus, but because you pronounce it Titus, what? I don't know.
Hey, wait!
Hey, yeah, save me. I didn't know where this conversation was going. I'm just rambling.
This way.
Now, an interesting bit of trivia here, Riku trivia. I actually tried this Let's Play a little while ago, and then the game crashed during these first few fights. This is the first time this game has ever crashed on me. I don't know what the hell happened. So I'm praying I can get to the first save point, just for safety, because I don't want to do this all again. I don't want to do this all again. I'm talking way too much and getting lightheaded. Oh yeah. Also, in case you didn't know, this game is an allegory for religion. Almost on the nose, even. Yeah, the religious symbolism in this game is actually very blatant. It's just like, by the end of it, you'll be going, I hate everything. I'm just intolerant. I'm looking at Trump now, just like, you got a good point, dude. That wasn't fair. I shouldn't say that. A little bit of cutscene. These first few fights, actually, I'm not sure if many people are aware of this. You have to try to lose these first few fights. They're pretty much gimmies.
My old man?
You mean he gave me a level 1 sword that's gonna become obsoleted within like 2 hours of gameplay? Thanks, Dad!
I hope you know how to use it.
Yeah, jump and shoot, yeah? You jump and shoot with the sword? But yeah, these first few fights are pretty much just mashing X to move on. Like Oren said, just attack the ones in front of you, it moves on. You pretty much have to attack yourself in order to lose these fights. They're disgustingly free.
Don't bother going after all of them. Cut the ones that matter and run.
Although to be fair, most Final Fantasies start out that way. Although I think they were represented better. Like in 6. In 6, it was just a power trip for the whole first, like, 20 minutes of the game. You were like, I am one-shotting all these bitches! And in 9, it was, I can't really remember 9. I have to play that game again. Maybe they'll re-release it at HD soon with all the... excuse me, with all the PS1 classics coming onto PS4. Like, I'm hyped for Spyro. I'm hyped for Spyro. Oh. Yeah, maybe they'll re-release 9. If they haven't already, and I'm just not aware of it, and I'm talking out of my ass, which is entirely possible. This fight, I think, is pretty much forced for you to win.
Get out of my...
Some cat.
Like I said, unless you're attacking yourself, because it forces you to use Oren's overdrive at the beginning. And, presumably you could fuck up the overdrive input and not do enough damage, but I think even then it one-shots all the sin scales, so it's just nothing to worry about, basically. Because Demi is a spell that cannot kill. It will only take off a quarter health from enemies that are weak to gravity damage. So even when you unlock it later on, it's like you can't kill anything with it. It only takes off a quarter health. They will always remain at 1 HP if you can get them that low, if you're just dicking around that much. And we're back into the period of mashing X. Yeah, even though your health is yellow, don't worry, you'll be fine. Just be sure to touch the save point on your way out, because if you don't, you can die in the next fight. And the save point's kind of hard to miss. You only have yourself to blame for that one if you miss it. For Tidus' overdrives, I'll be using them like the moment I get them, just because I feel that's the best way to implement this overdrive. Considering how he unlocks his other ones, it's the best course of action for me. It's like with Slice and Dice, I think you have to use at least 30 overdrives to unlock it. Energy Rain, it's like 70 or 80 overdrive uses. And then Blitz Ace is something ridiculous. It's like 160, something fucking retarded. It takes a while to unlock, but it is by and large his best overdrive. So when Tidus gets an overdrive, yeah, use it. Don't save onto that. Don't hold on to it. Just use it. He'll be doing enough average damage to where you don't really have to worry about it. Overdrives are basically a critical hit and a half anyway. So this is where it crashed last time, hoping I can squeeze a save in. Quickly! I don't know if my save data appears on the capture or not, so you might be looking at a blank screen. A blank screen! I might be racist, and like, subconsciously. That's not a good thing. Okay. So this... He's laughing at your acting. That's not fair. I like that scene. It's... yeah, the laughing scene is notorious. We'll get to that in a little while. I'm gonna present my opinion then about the laughing scene. But this fight! If you didn't heal at the save point, you can die in this scene unintentionally. Or this fight, rather, not this cutscene. This ain't no quick time of it. What am I talking about? Otherwise, all you have to do is just attack the same... or attack any of them, I think. But to be safe, I just attack the same one. Just mash X, and the game will give you a prompt that you're not accomplishing anything. And they'll tell you to attack the engine there. This entire opening segment is pretty laid back, despite the context.
This could be bad. That. Knock it down.
What?
Trust me, you'll see.
We're right next to the epicenter of the explosion, and for some reason our river's made of gasoline. Because I don't know what this thing's purpose was, but for some reason when you break it, it explodes and destroys every goddamn thing. It's a fantasy game. I shouldn't be putting too much logic in here. Also, Orange skill Power Break is entirely useless for this whole opening segment. He one-shots everything that you could get a benefit off of using his skill, so there's really no point in wasting his MP. No point in holding on to it either, but, you know. Live and learn. But yeah, it's like... oh wait, I don't think that's a river, I think that's smoke. That might be like nitrogen or some shit. It always looked like a river down there to me when I was a kid. Just a really, really, really polluted river. And then one last cutscene. And then we start the actual game. Try to remain quiet. Please don't crash. You're doing so well, I didn't make it this far last time. And I think this was one of the few games on the PS2 that actually utilized a motion blur. I don't know. I always liked the way it looked. These days, if you put motion blur, it might look like the game's not rendering properly. But on PS2, it works. I don't know. It always looked cool to me.
You are sure? This is it. This is your story. It all begins here.
I was eaten by a fade out.
Hey,
It's a first for me.
hey!
Also, that's Jack yelling at Tidus.
My old man?
And we will never see this area again until the very end of the game. Now, pretty much all you have to do is just hold circle and make your way down here. There it is. Okay.
I thought about a lot of things. Like where I was, what I got myself into. I started to feel lightheaded, and then sleepy. I think I had a dream of being alone. I wanted someone, anyone beside me, so I didn't have to feel alone anymore.
And welcome to Baj Temple, another game you're not going to be seeing until you unlock the airship area. Did I say another game? It's been a long day. I'm very tired. I need more monster. Come here. Ah. Juice of the gods.
Anybody there?
Not sponsored by Monster.
Oren!
That would be
Hey!
the fucking shit if I were, though. I'm always holding out for that monster sponsorship. Alrighty, and we're nearing the point where I'm going to break here, but let's see. There's a couple of things we can snag while we're here. Oh, I need to pay attention to my game, not my phone. And because I'm such a fucking weeb for this goddamn game, I can pretty reliably translate Albed, so I'm going to show you what I mean here. Let's see. Ah! Something is written here. In the land where... No. Yes, where... light... No, bolts of light illuminate the blackest night, with Macalania behind the fourth pillar you sight. Look not on the left, but on the right.
What do we have here? No, can't read it.
Pretty much, it's pretty much illuminating where a hidden weapon is in the game. The Murasame... No, it's not the Murasame. It's something for Orin, I think. Or Kimari. I get those two confused sometimes. And then over here, over yonder. And no shame in the fact that I can read Albed. I don't even have a chart. That's just going off of memory. I tripped up a couple times there. But speaking of Albed translation, there's a little sphere here. You can unlock any Albed primers you've found in your other files. So that's handy to have. They pop up randomly throughout the game. But this seems like a good time. English. Difficult, dangerous, treacherous even. I said that in my other Let's Play. This is a good time to break. I will meet you guys in a part 2, and eventually I will beat this game again. So we'll see you guys in part 2. Bye!